A nome del gruppo dei Verdi la parola al Presidente Ska Keller.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Tusk, I can only share the disappointment. We have still not gotten anywhere on the whole Eurozone reform matters. We have not gotten anywhere on MFF on so many important issues. And I mean, the Eurozone reform is not just around since yesterday. We have this crisis since longer than 2010, and we know what to do. And it's just not going ahead because the heads of state and government are just not doing their work and are not getting ahead. Instead, at the Council, the only talk was about migration, 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 as if it's the only problem that we have. And I care very much about migration, but I have to say that there are other things that we have to talk about. And then again, talking about migration and refugees, you did indeed not talk about the hundreds of lives that have been lost just in the last days, while actually the rescue boats are stuck in the ports because some member states want to bring the people who actually rescue people to the court. This is really an active engagement against rescue at sea. This is against any sort of international law, but this is also against any sort of humanity, to not let others who want to do the work rescue people. This is not something you talked about. And I wonder if anyone still remembers Lampedusa 2013, how we all went and we said we're so sorry that hundreds of people drowned. But now, again, hundreds of people are drowning and we're turning away a blind eye. I think this is really not the way how Europe should go. You also didn't talk about the common European asylum system that indeed this Parliament has been preparing, where we have managed to get political compromises together across the groups. So I really wonder why we managed to do it and you don't manage to do it, whereas the same parties present here and in the Council. So this is stuff you did not talk about. Rather, you talked about creating this disembarkation platform. So that's camps somewhere in the Sahara. And you might say, okay, but people can ask for asylum, but that's the thing. The resettlement, the one word of resettlement mentioned in the conclusions, it's voluntary. You will not find a member state who is going to admit those people who might get asylum there. That's the thing. You will just put them away, the refugees, somewhere in the camps in the Sahara, and that's the end of it. If this is being implemented, it's basically the end to the right to ask for asylum here in the European Union. And this is not where we should go. The right to ask for asylum was invented in Europe, the Geneva Convention, just after the Second World War, coming from the incredibly horrible experience. The aim was to never have anyone again suffer and not be protected, not find protection anywhere. That was the aim of the Geneva Convention. And I think we should not give up on that so easily. So we have managed to find a compromise in the Parliament. And even if you want to close off the borders completely, it will never work. You can never close off a border completely. But what you can actually do with the heads of state and government is extinguish any light of humanitarianism, any light of human rights that the European Union has always been standing for. And I think we should not go that way. We should stand up for human rights, especially of the rights of people who are not living here, especially the rights of people who are not us, because that's when you show how much you care about human rights. Thank you.
A nome del gruppo confederale della Sinistra Unitaria Europea Sinistra Verde Nordica la parola all'onorevole Curzio Maltese.
Grazie Presidente. Direi che un risultato l'ha ottenuto il Consiglio europeo, che è quello di produrre un clima raro di condivisione tra vari gruppi politici dello stesso sentire